You arrive before sunrise. The prison transport bus slows down at 5:42 a.m. The engine idles while the outer gate slides open. Nobody speaks. You've been awake most of the night, listening to chains and metal benches vibrating under the highway. The bus smells like sweat and disinfectant. When the doors open, cold air moves through the aisle. A guard says one word. Move. You step onto the concrete with 30 other men. Ahead of you stands a wall almost 30 feet high. Coiled razor wire sits on top like a crown. Guard towers watch the yard with thick glass windows and rifles resting on metal rails. This place holds around 2,800 inmates. By the end of the day, you will be one more number inside it. The intake room is bright and quiet. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. You stand in line while a corrections officer reads instructions from a laminated sheet. Your belongings move across a metal table into plastic bins. Wallet, shoes, watch, phone. Each item disappears into storage bags labeled with a barcode. A printer spits out a strip of plastic. It becomes your wristband. The officer reads your identification number slowly. You repeat it back. From now on, the system recognizes that number more reliably than your name. The next 3 hours move slowly. You are photographed from 3 angles. You place your hands on a scanner for fingerprints. A nurse checks blood pressure and asks about medications. Another officer hands you 2 thin blankets, a small bar of soap, and a folded uniform. Everything has a quantity limit. 2 blankets, 1 towel, 3 pairs of socks. If something disappears, you replace it through the commissary. Nothing here is free. At 10:15 a.m., you enter a small classroom with 14 other new inmates. A corrections lieutenant stands at the front. He explains the structure of the prison in clear, procedural language. 4 housing units, 700 inmates per unit, 3 daily counts. Breakfast at 6 a.m., lunch at 11:30 a.m., dinner at 4:45 p.m., lights out at 10 p.m. The lieutenant pauses and looks at the room. Then he says something not written on the orientation sheet. Staff controls security. Inmates control behavior. Nobody asks what that means. Your housing unit is C block. A metal door opens with a hydraulic hiss. Inside, 3 tiers of cells rise along the walls like stacked balconies. You walk down a narrow corridor while dozens of men watch from behind bars. Your assigned cell measures roughly 6 feet by 9 feet. 2 bunks, 1 steel sink, 1 toilet attached directly to the floor. Your cellmate sits on the lower bunk, reading a paperback novel with the cover missing. He looks up once. Then he asks the question everyone eventually asks. Who do you run with? You tell him you just arrived. He nods slowly. That answer explains enough. The first weeks pass quietly. You learn to move carefully through shared spaces. The shower runs for 8 minutes before shutting off automatically. Laundry day rotates every Tuesday. The prison library allows 2 books per week. You discover that every table in the chow hall belongs to a group. The divisions are not written on signs, but everyone understands them. Racial groups, regional groups, older alliances that formed long before you arrived. You carry your tray through the cafeteria on the first day without knowing where to sit. A man at the far table nods toward an empty seat. You take it. No one explains the decision, but it will shape your next few years. After 3 weeks, your name appears on a work assignment list. Laundry duty. The prison laundry room operates 12 hours a day. 8 industrial machines run continuously. The air inside stays around 34 degrees Celsius from steam and dryers. Your pay is 19 cents per hour. Most of it goes toward toothpaste and instant coffee from the commissary. But the real purpose of prison jobs is not money. It's structure. Men without structure tend to cause problems. The rules inside the prison exist in 2 versions. The official version appears in the Inmate Handbook. No fighting, no contraband, follow staff orders. The unofficial rules circulate through conversation. Never sit on another man's bunk. Never interrupt someone else's card game. Always repay borrowed items, especially food. A pack of ramen noodles costs 42 cents in the commissary. Inside the housing unit, the same pack may settle a dispute worth much more. Small debts matter here because they test reliability. After a year, you are no longer new. You understand the daily rhythm: morning, count, breakfast, work assignments, yard time. The prison yard covers roughly 2 acres of cracked concrete surrounded by fences. Men walk slow laps in small circles. Others lift weights welded together from scrap metal. Some sit quietly on benches facing the sun. Conversations happen in low voices. Deals happen even quieter. You begin running small errands for older inmates, delivering messages, trading commissary items between cells. The tasks feel minor, but reliability is noticed. Around year 2, someone asks if you want to help move information between groups. Nothing complicated, just verbal messages. Who owes money? Who wants to buy tobacco? Who plans to move cells? The system inside prison depends on communication. You become part of that system. You walk the tier, knock lightly on cell bars, repeat short sentences, then continue down the corridor. Sometimes the message leads to peaceful arrangements. Sometimes it leads to fights that happen later in the shower room where cameras can't see clearly. You don't ask which outcome is expected. By year 3, you understand the prison economy. Official currency exists on inmate accounts. Unofficial currency exists in goods. Ramen noodles, canned tuna, instant coffee. A single pack of cigarettes smuggled inside can trade for $50 worth of commissary. Phones occasionally appear, small ones, hidden inside walls or lockers. Their value is closer to $1,000. The guards know about most of these things, but enforcement is selective. Too much order can create tension. Controlled disorder keeps the system stable. One afternoon, someone asks you to sit at a different table in the chow hall, closer to the older inmates who coordinate activities inside your section of the block. There is no speech, no title, just a change in seating, but everyone notices. From that point forward, certain questions start coming to you first. Who borrowed items? Who paid debts? Who needs warnings before problems escalate? You keep records in your head. The prison encourages men who can manage other men quietly. Around year 5, someone breaks a rule. Not a violent rule, a financial one. He borrowed food and never repaid it. Small debts grow if ignored. The group decides he needs a reminder. You are asked to participate. 3 men enter the shower area during evening recreation. The cameras in that corner malfunction often. The event lasts less than 30 seconds. Afterward, nobody talks about it. But your role inside the system changes slightly. You are now someone who enforces outcomes. Phone calls home become less frequent. At first, you called every Sunday, 15 minutes each time. Your family asked about your safety. Your answers stayed simple. Eventually, the conversations became harder to maintain. The outside world moves forward. New jobs, new relationships, new routines. Inside prison, time moves differently. Every week looks similar to the one before it. The distance grows quietly. 10 years inside a structured environment reshapes habits. You wake automatically at 5:45 a.m. before the morning lights turn on. You fold your blanket with precise corners. You clean the small area around your bunk daily. Discipline becomes practical. Men who maintain routines avoid attention. Attention creates complications. By now, younger inmates approach you with questions. Where to sit? How to avoid conflicts? How to repay debts before they become dangerous? You answer briefly. Experience becomes authority. The prison hierarchy resembles a company structure. At the top are a few individuals who coordinate large groups. Below them are intermediaries who manage sections of housing units. You find yourself in that middle layer. You track obligations, resolve arguments, sometimes relay instructions from above. The role carries influence, but also responsibility. If problems escalate, the blame travels downward quickly.